welcome to my channel. We upload 3 to 5 times a week. Don't miss out on our scary horror story. Hit that subscribe button now and get the latest video when we upload. Are you ready to experience a spine-tingling horror story that will keep you on the edge of your seat? In this tale, we'll follow Jake and his friends as they encounter a ghost car on an isolated highway and the terrifying events that unfold as they become ensnared in its clutches. With plenty of scary details and a plot twist that will leave you reeling, this is a story you won't soon forget. Get ready to buckle up and join us. Okay, let's begin. It was a dark and stormy night when Jake and his friends decided to go on a road trip. They were driving on an isolated highway surrounded by dense forests. Suddenly, they saw a car coming towards them. It was an old, rusty car with no headlights. The driver seemed to be in a hurry and overtook them at a breakneck speed. The car disappeared into the darkness, leaving Jake and his friends bewildered. As they continued on their journey, they saw the car again and again. It would come out of nowhere, overtake them, and disappear into the darkness. They tried to catch up with it, but it was too fast for them. They began to feel uneasy and scared. Just when they thought they had lost the car, it appeared again, this time right in front of them. Jake hit the brakes, but it was too late. They collided with the ghost car and everything went dark. When Jake woke up, he found himself lying on a hospital bed. His friends were nowhere to be seen. He asked the nurse what had happened to them, but she just shook her head and said nothing. Days turned into weeks, and Jake couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. He began to have strange dreams about the ghost car and his friends. He dreamt that they were trapped inside the car, screaming for help. One night, Jake decided to go back to the place where the accident had occurred. He wanted to confront his fears and find out what had happened to his friends. As he approached the spot, he saw the ghost car parked on the side of the road. Jake cautiously approached the car, but there was no one inside. He peered through the window and saw bloodstains on the seats. He felt a shiver run down his spine. Just then, he heard a faint voice calling out to him. It was his friend, Tom. He was alive, but barely. Jake opened the door and helped Tom out of the car. Tom was covered in cuts and bruises, and his leg was badly injured. Tom told Jake what had happened that night. The ghost car had crashed into them, and they had all blacked out. When Tom woke up, he found himself trapped inside the car with his friends nowhere to be seen. He had been stuck there for weeks, surviving on the food and water they had in the car. He had almost given up hope of ever being rescued. Jake was horrified. He knew he had to find his other friends. They searched the area around the car and eventually found a trail leading into the forest. They followed it, and after a while they saw another car parked in a clearing. As they approached the car, they saw that it was empty, but then they heard a faint sound coming from inside the trunk. They opened it, and what they saw made their blood run cold. There were the remains of their other friends, mutilated and decaying. The ghost car had been a trap all along, luring unsuspecting victims into its clutches. It would crash into them, and whoever survived would be trapped inside, waiting to be consumed. Jake and Tom ran for their lives, but they knew the ghost car was still out there waiting for its next victim. They never spoke of the incident again, but they knew that they had narrowly escaped with their lives. Years later, Jake was driving on the same highway with his wife and kids in the car. As they approached the spot where the accident had occurred, he saw the ghost car again, parked on the side of the road. This time, however, something was different. The car was no longer empty. There was a figure sitting in the driver's seat, staring straight ahead. Jake could feel his heart pounding in his chest. He tried to accelerate and get away from the car, but it was no use. The ghost car seemed to be following them, no matter how fast they went. Jake's wife was screaming in terror, and his kids were crying in the back seat. He knew he had to do something, but he didn't know what. Suddenly, the ghost car swerved and hit the side of their car, causing it to spin out of control. The last thing Jake saw was the figure in the driver's seat, grinning malevolently. When Jake regained consciousness, he found himself lying in a hospital bed once again. This time, he was alone. He asked the nurse what had happened to his family, but she just shook her head and said nothing. Jake knew he would never see his family again. The ghost car had taken them, just like it had taken his friends years ago. We hope you enjoy this bone-chilling horror story that explored the dark and twisted world of the supernatural. From the mysterious appearance of the ghost car to the gruesome fate of its victims, this story kept us guessing until the very end. We hope it gave you goosebumps and left you wanting more. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay spooky.